The world is a dumpster fire. I mean, like, with everything going on right now, with all that is happening, it's a straight up dumpster fire. And I don't know, for some reason, like, I was always that kid who would diminish like my own personal experiences and try and put it on like a scale of like the worst things that could happen. And well, at the very least, I haven't been raped, I haven't been murdered, I haven't been assaulted or whatever. And I guess that is a way to kind of put things into perspective. But I mean, the honest truth is that life sucks. And the depression sucks. So yesterday I got a email from somebody that I have to explain to yet again, like what I've been up to, whether or not I've been working, whether or not I'm doing better and catching up. But the thing is, I don't want to catch up anymore. I feel like I've been talking and explaining my situation forever, and just keeping regurgitating like, yeah, my life sucks, and I don't want to argue for the fact that my life sucks anymore. Like, I don't want to be constantly having to remind myself of the exact details in which my life sucks. Like, I just don't have that in me anymore. I, for the last couple of weeks, have been bouncing back and forth between anger and depression, and anger, depressed, anger, depressed. And I mean, like, there were certain moments where I felt like when I hung out with like friends, or I don't know, sometimes randomly when I took a walk, that I had like these fleeting moments of like being in the moment and not really thinking about the fact that my life sucks and that I feel sucky all the time. But as soon as I get home, as soon as I'm not distracted anymore, it just gets straight back to I don't have energy. I don't like what I'm doing with my life. I don't like not having a way to move forward in a way that makes sense to me. I dislike the fact that I have to wait in general. It's a very triggering thing because I, for the longest time all my life, felt like I've been waiting for something magical to happen, for something to lift me out of like this moment, but that thing would just never come, or delay, or whatever else the case was. And thinking about just all the things that people go through, all the messed up, fucked up shit that's been happening, and just being like, I just don't care anymore. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to look at yet another stupid, dumb problem that wasn't even necessary to begin with. I'm so tired of having to explain like gender and a way in which toxic masculinity, like I don't even know what is, like all these wars, all these problems can be solved by just simply people listening to themselves and just stop performing for other people and just being themselves and just acting out of their own accounts, not because of these perceived notions around masculinity, sexuality, femininity. It's so dumb. It's tired. And I find myself when I bother to engage with the people around me who are discussing these things, like having to explain, like, oh yeah, but it's like imperialist white supremacist capitalist patriarchy kind of upholds like all these systems and creates the situations for these things to happen. So I bring out, yeah, you should read some bell hooks, just look at some queer literature, queer theory, feminist theory, all that, and then yeah, in sociology, like all of these different discussions have already been had. Like it's not new. It's kind of boring that people like, and I mean, like I get it, I get it. People live their lives and they don't have time to think about, examine, look at, put in a YouTube search around like what is a trans person, what is a queer person, what is the experience of people of color like. Okay, fine, I get it. Like your life is so hard, you don't have time to look into it. But the thing is, I don't care that you don't find the time to do it because the bullshit keeps happening. Like it's so dumb, like so dumb. And then I have to think about like my own depression. The fact that I have to keep arguing not to kill myself. I have to keep trying to be happy, trying to be in the moment, trying to be cool with the fact that nothing is going as it should be going or how I want it to be going. If you're triggered by the word shit, I feel like it's either we're all just gonna be living in a moment and just trying to be and trying to make shit happen in whatever ways we want to or whatever, or we're gonna have to work, going to have to provide and come up with like reasons that we can excuse why we should be happy, like being responsible, like being I don't know. I feel like just when I look at like all the things that I want to do with my life, the kind of videos that I like to create, the kind of conversations that I like to have, the kind of things that I want to play, like I don't know, it's a combination of not connecting on the one hand with the things that I do manage to do, but then also just the lack, the total lack of energy to doing things that I actually love to do. I earlier this week wrote a part of a song, just a very dark, depressing song, and just like noticing that even that like I couldn't record my voice because I wasn't home alone and I wasn't a place where I felt safe to like really express. When I listen to music, I'm on the verge of tears, and like for example, yesterday it led to a straight up crying session. When I dance, like if I manage to, I end up crying as well. Like in all the ways that I want to express myself, I feel like I'm just stuck. Like I'm in this prison, and I get it. Like it's a self-imposed prison, but it's the depression. It's the some form of anxiety, some form of not feeling safe, not feeling safe to try, not feeling safe to experiment, not feeling safe to just play. Like I constantly have to defend myself, and that is the same feeling that I got yesterday when I received that email. Like yet again, I have to defend myself. Yet again, I have to explain. Like I'm done explaining. What is it gonna amount to? I'm in the exact situation that I was 6 months ago. The only difference is other people know. The only difference is I'm 6 months older. I feel like I'm disappearing. You know that idea of like use it or lose it? Like I feel like I'm not in a position where I can use any of my talents, my gifts, whatever. I feel stuck where I'm like not performing in a way that I would want to perform, that I feel like it's healthy to perform. And it's also like aside from like the productivity aspect of it, it's just the being alive. Like I feel a lack of energy to be alive. And it's tiring. It's exhausting actually. Like last night, like I laid awake for at the very least like 5 hours. Like I couldn't get any sleep because my heart was just broken. My stomach, I was so upset that my stomach hurts. And I get that the process is that I have to wait for certain things to fall into place, for certain diagnoses to happen when they are finally like ready to happen. But in the meantime, I'm still alive. In the meantime, I'm trying to live, trying to survive this. And I don't know, my general thing is that because of the fact that when I hang out with like people and am in a moment with them, you kind of like people around me kind of get the idea that oh, I'm managing, I'm doing fine. No, I'm not doing fine because you only see me as when I'm distracted. But most of my life is just emptiness. It's drowning myself in YouTube videos and trying to make a day pass. And it's weird because there's moments that I feel like I'm inspired to do like something to make like a certain kind of change. And so, for example, I would starting in September, like actually like the very first of September, I want to swim like weekly and just do something in order because I can't like dance in a way that I like. I don't feel comfortable, and I'm a bit like because for the past months I've been walking almost every day. I feel like I want something else, something to I don't know distract me, and I feel like swimming is it for me, and like I feel good about that. But then also like I want this to be over. I'm tired of being tired, and I'm exhausted of being exhausted. It feels like I'm fighting every day, fighting with my mind, fighting with my body. Like I hate the way that I look. Like, and I hate saying it. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was telling him about like the fact that I haven't like taken like any pictures that I stand behind for at least since 2017, 2018. And so he asked me straight up, like, so you think you're ugly? And I'm like, yeah, basically, yeah. I don't like the way that I look. I don't like not having energy. I don't like feeling this stuck in my situation. And the thing with like the world being a dumpster fire, I have all these privileges. Our healthcare here in the Netherlands is basically free. Um, I do get psychological help. I do get mental health help. I do get a roof over my head, a certain allowance. But it doesn't mean that it still doesn't suck, that it still doesn't hurt. Trying to make comparisons with like others who are at even more like abysmal situations doesn't help me. It just doesn't. Like there are people who've lost their parents, who lost like all their loved ones, living in extreme poorness and poor conditions. Doesn't make me feel any better. Doesn't make this better. Doesn't make the depression go away. Doesn't do anything for me. Like, I have conversations with people who live in countries where the situation is just abhorrent. But even in knowing that, I'm still depressed. Like it doesn't change a thing. For me, living with depression is like living with this, like the cliches to say that it is like a dark cloud, but it's not. It's like a succulent that, or a just something that drains you, takes all your energy and leaves you for dead, basically. Um, and it doesn't stop. There are moments that you kind of feel alleviated from it, where you, in a moment for a split second, forget, but then it comes back, rushing back. And the thing with me is that I've been struggling with depression as I've been talking to a psychologist and like constantly retelling the story of my life. But I've been struggling with depression ever since I was 10 or 11 years old, where in my formative years, I was formed with the depression, where I, as an ENFP personality type, haven't been living my authentic self because of the depression and the anxiety and that thing of like always waiting, always waiting for like my prince to come, my fairy godmother to take me away from the situation, and it doesn't happen. There's nobody coming. Funny thing is, like, when I was thinking about like recording this video, I was like, am I going to be emotional in this, or what will happen? Will it be like performative in a way? Um, to be honest, I feel empty. I feel just empty. Not even anger. Like, I felt anger for such a long time, but like, I'm just done. I'm just done with this. So hey, this was a fun video. Nobody watches this.